Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com back with some Pittsburgh Steelers analysis. We are near the end of day one of the legal tampering period for the 2021 offseason and 2021 new league year, and a couple of really three key Steelers storylines I want to talk to you guys about today. And of course, just a caveat, everything is subject to change. Everything could change in an instant. Some of the big news of the day, Pittsburgh wise, came in late on Monday. So by the time you're listening to this, 10 different things could and probably have happened. But the first shoe to drop was the Steelers did re sign Cam Sutton to a 2 year deal worth $9 million. And so that was, I think, a really necessary signing. You couldn't lose both Mike Hilton and Cam Sutton. Sutton was always going to be the cheaper option. As of this recording, Hilton is still a free agent, but I fully expect him to get more than that $4.5 million per year that Cam Sutton got. But Sutton really impressed in 2019 and especially last year in 2020. Improved as a tackler, improved his run defense, forced 3 fumbles, and should slot into that slot corner role, replacing Mike Hilton effectively for 2021, and potentially this time next year be playing outside of left cornerback if he replaces Joe Hayden. But you could not lose both of those guys. Sutton's versatile. He's smart. He's really kind of grown into his own. And so glad at least Cam Sutton's staying around, even if that means what we already knew, that Mike Hilton almost certainly playing elsewhere in 2021. Two other key Steelers storylines. The first one is that Bud Dupree is signing a multi-year deal to join the Tennessee Titans. We know it's worth 16.5 million per season. I don't know all the contractual details, the total amount of money, the years, etc., but a multi-year deal for 16.5 million. So he's able to not lose too much market value coming off that torn ACL he suffered in December. We knew that Dupree was going to go elsewhere, just simply too expensive to keep. That average yearly value of 16.5 million reflects that. You have Alex Highsmith waiting in the wings to take over as the right outside linebacker. I think it's a great fit for Tennessee, who had just 19 sacks last year, had nobody with more than 5.5 sacks on the season. So a good fit for Dupree, but a big loss for Pittsburgh, absolutely. And now you have to, I think, address and add an edge rusher, some lower level free agent like a Derek Rivers, attack McKinley, Ryan Anderson, Jordan Jenkins, somebody, because as of this moment, and it probably will change, there's nothing, no other backup outside linebackers on this roster under contract other than TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith, of course, your starters. I imagine Oladani will come back on a minimum level deal. He was not tendered. That's no surprise, but I see him as a number 4 special teams guy. You could do the same with Cassius Marsh, but he's not going to be a number 3 rotational guy. In this draft class is really weak at edge. And so I would prefer to have a lower level free agent signing and then maybe a day 3 draft pick you pair him with at the edge position. And that's how you kind of create some depth that you're going to need for this defense to function. Immediately following the Dupree news, Matt Feiler, who I thought could come back to Pittsburgh, not the case. He goes to the Chargers to play in Los Angeles. 3 years, 21 million, good money for him. I don't know, quite sure if the Chargers will play him at guard or tackle. He'd be, I think, best at tackle, but we'll see what LA does. Feiler reunites with his old offensive line coach, Sean Surratt, who's the assistant out there in Los Angeles. So that's a pretty logical fit, I think, overall. But, again, Feiler, I thought he could stay kind of 50-50 in my prediction video I had the other day. I said I predicted he would stay. That obviously did not come true. My first miss of free agency, and now we knew if he came back to Pittsburgh, he'd play right tackle, not left guard. But now that tackle situation is still up in the air. Will Zach Banner get re-signed? I still believe so, but yet to hear anything on the Zach Banner front. Chukwuma Okorafor, only other tackle on the roster at the moment. So depth, at the very least, if even if Banner comes back, it's going to need to be addressed. This is a strong tackle class overall in college when you talk draft prospects, but will they address center? That's a position they'll have to consider as well, and probably strongly consider at that. So, still a lot of uncertainty along the offensive line. And although we know Kevin Dotson will step up and be the left guard for 2021, and to the overall point, the offensive line did not play well enough last year, so change was needed. Assuming that Alejandro Villanueva signs somewhere else, his team will be without its week 1 in 2020 starting left tackle, starting left guard, and starting center. Big changes for Steelers offensive line that for so many years was just consistent, the same five with Villanueva, Foster, Pouncey, DeCastro, Marcus Gilbert. That all has changed dramatically over the last 24 months, and Matt Feiler's movement to Los Angeles is another sign of that. So that will wrap up my day one thoughts and reaction and news on the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll still see who they re-sign. You should see a couple more names come in, whether that's Zach Banner, Tyson Alualu, maybe some other low level guys, Oladani coming back, and we'll see what moves in terms of outside free agents they bring in. Look at tight end, look at edge. Those are possibilities for Pittsburgh right now. And of course, we'll be watching where pending free agents are going to go. Mike Hilton, Juju Smith-Schuster, not a very active day reportedly for Smith-Schuster. We'll see what kind of money he gets on the open market, and all the other slew of free agents, Alejandro Villanueva, James Conner, etc., that are about to hit once the new league year begins on March 17th. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below on day one of the legal tampering of free agency. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you soon.